Hello, and in this lecture will be about external entity injection, XML external entity injection, also known as XXE. And we're just going to be using the Portswig labs for this example. And as you can see here, what is XML external entity injection? XML external entity injection, also known as XSE, is a web security vulnerability that allows an attacker to interfere with the application's processing of XML data. So if you get some sort of 500 server internal error with a parsing issue, parsing error means you could potentially exploit it with XSE. So it often allows an attacker to view files in the application server file system and to interact with any backend or external systems that the application itself can access. Most of the times, so obviously you can be chain it with server-side request forgery, but also just remember, if you're doing a real life bug bounty application, thanks for Stoke from giving me this little stat, but about most of the times, I think he said 90% of the time, I don't know, that's just an actual statistic, probably an assumption, but 90% of the time it will be blind XSE, meaning you'll be able to get a DNS response back, or you could get an interaction, out-of-bound interaction, but then you'd have to figure out a way to bypass the application firewall, either using a VPS, and infiltrate the data that way and extract a DTD entity. But most of the times you won't just read a local file. So this is obviously saying how they arise, which is just through transmitting XML data, and if you get like a error, a formatting error, XML error, parsing error, there's an issue. But let's have a look at an example of using external entities to retrieve files. So we're just gonna, it's obviously, here's the payload here, it's in the stock, product stock, so let's just copy this payload here. There is also a website called Payloads of All Things that will help you figure out the right payload to use for XXE, because most of the times there'll be different payloads. So obviously you can go here, and you got intruders, so you can actually do some XSE files with intruder files, some denial of service, because you have billion laughs attacks which you can do DDoS with XSE. So these are also often very big bounties. There's also ways to do blind XSE with FTP support. There's an out-of-band XSE server for retrieving file content using 23 OOB. XXE Injector is a really good tool. I recommend using that one. Let's just get back to the example. So let's get to this example here. So let's have a look at this one. Let's just copy this payload here. We could probably program it ourselves, but let's just copy that. Let's open up the lab and let's start the lab. We have to retrieve the etc parswd file. And let's just return to our Firefox browser instance, and let's do the attack. Let's exploit the vulnerability. So I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to turn off the proxy, and I'm going to let the website load. And like I said, it's in the stock view stock feature. But what you'd usually do is you just forward off request. You just check each request. Obviously nothing there. Do some manual testing. 9 times out of 10 often there'll be a post request because it's posted in the server. I said since check stock, let's check stock. And here we go. We've got some XML in the request here. So this is where it will be vulnerable. There's also a really good plugin that you can get to convert JSON to XML, because sometimes JSON can be converted to XML and cause parsing issues. And a really good plugin that you can use is called, bear with me, Content Type Converter. Recommend getting that. It's an awesome tool for XSE attacks. Let's send this to repeater, Control R, and press Control Shift R to go to repeater. And we don't need that anymore. We can just go make it a full page. And let's just go send. Let's see what it actually does and see how it works. Obviously it's returning the stock, returning the amount of stock in 849 stock. But what we want to do is I want to paste in this payload. Whoops, I haven't got the payload here. I need to go to back to the here, and get this payload here. Then what we want to do is we want to paste this in, and and what will happen is it will retrieve. Okay, so store IDO couldn't parse from XML. Okay, so obviously we've got some issues here. So let's just cut that. Let's send that to repeater. codec repeater, and let's just try and see if we can go to a new line. So we've got boom, 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 boom. That's a new line there. So let's do this, and then that. So obviously put these new tags in a new line. Okay, let's try and send that and see if it works. Awesome. Okay, let's paste in that payload, and then so this is our payload here. Obviously, it's called, the doc type is foo, and the entity, the DTD entity is XXE, and we're fetching it's the pass.wd file. Let's put this into a product ID tag. So to basically refer to this entity, we put an end and that, and then a comma, and that should hopefully retrieve all the files from the local system. Awesome, we did it, perfect. Retrieved all the users, and it says that that's all we need to do. Is to do that, and we should have completed the challenge. Awesome. That's basically a XXE attack, XXE, sorry. And there's many ways to do this. SSRF can be chained with this. Next video, I'll talk about SSRF and chaining it with XXE. Next one is to perform SSRF text with XXE. Hey, let's just do it. Hey, why not just do it? Let's just do it. So we need to retrieve this is the EC2 metadata endpoint, and what this is an online VPS that we can that they use for cloud computing. So we can retrieve the EC2 instance and get the EC2 or AWS metadata keys. So let's access the lab. Again, we're doing the same payload, but except what we're doing is we're actually, instead of we're actually using the URL instead. So let's view target. Let's view the stock again. So let's go boom, 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 boom. Let's view the stock. Boom, boom. Some WebSockets there. Let's send that to the repeater. Control R and Control Shift R to go to repeater. Let's just get our previous payload here. So we'll just to make things simple, we'll put that right down there, and we'll get the previous payload that we use, because this will work. Go to this one, put that in there, and instead of the returning the file it's pass.wd, we're just putting in the IP address. We'll send that, and as you can see, there is an error within the parsing issue. Connection failed. Let's try it again. Let's send that off to the repeater. Let's make sure that's returning the right thing. Let's put these on new lines, and let's type in the payload. So I'll just see if I can do it this time. What happened there? A bit glitchy there. Let's go here. Sometimes that happens. Very glitchy, but just excuse me about that. Here, I will type in the payload in my new tab, my second computer screen, and I'll show you if it works. Right, just see if it works first. Should work. Should actually come up with a okay. It's not working for some reason. Well, I might have to look at the payload for a minute. Just wait. Okay, let's have a look. There's an XML parsing issue, meaning that the payload isn't being executed. It's causing the exception instead. We need to we need to obtain the IAM secret keys. Let's have a look. So, yep, we did that. But for some reason, it's not actually allowing it's coming up with a parsing issue. So let's just put this out of it and send it. It's very glitchy, so I'll just do it like this. My bad. Maybe it likes it in the store ID, not the product ID. Let's try that. No, it didn't like that either. Okay. Let's have a look at a payload. So submit an XML type test define entity, seeing whether it appears in the response. Did I do the right one? I think I did the wrong one. I think I need to actually this way. Let's see if this works. Yep, still haven't actually executed the lab. There you go. That's why. So we actually didn't. We did the same. We did excuse me. We did the the previous one. We didn't actually redo the new one. Okay, that's a go. Let's go. Let's do this. So view details. This should work now. It's the right one now. Check stock, and let's just send that payload in again that we had before. Oops. Let's see if it works. All right. XX is not allowed. Okay, let's try ABC as the entity. Target process instruction target. Doesn't like this actually. Anyway, we might have to do this in the next video. Might have to just look at it a bit more and do it in the next video. So next video will be about XXE and chaining it with SSRF and some basics SSRF as well. So and my purpose is play it up. So next video we'll continue on with XXE and SSRF DAX. So please enjoy and follow up with the next video, and hope you enjoyed the lecture.